So now that we're getting comfortable with minor scales, it's time to look at what that does to our diatonic chord progression. So first, let's do a quick run through of what this diatonic chord progression is and why we care about it. So a reminder of what it is it's all the chords that exist in that key without doing anything out of the key. So let's just really quick go back to our C major example. So what I'm going to do here, actually, let me just write the scale, because in a minute we're going to do this in minor, but for now I'm going to do it in major. So here's our C major scale. Now remember, what I'm going to do for each chord is the first, the third, and the fifth, or in other words, every other note of the scale. So C, E is I'm going to skip D, go to E, skip F, and go to G. Okay? D, I'm going to skip E and go to F, because I'm taking every other note. Skip G and go to A. E, I'm going to skip F and go to G. And then I'm going to skip A and go to B. F, I'm going to skip G and go to A. Then I'm going to skip B and go to C. G, I'm going to skip skip A and go to B. Then I'm going to skip C, and I got to circle around. There's the same C that I'm skipping. It's an octave lower. And then I'm going to go to D. Okay? A, I'm going to skip B and go to C. And then I'm going to go, let's go down here. Here's the C I just did. I'm going to skip D and go to E. And then B, I'm going to skip C and go to D. D, I'm going to skip E and go to F. And then I'm back to C. And with C, it's going to be the same as this one, but an octave higher. So C, E, and G. Great. So there is my diatonic chord progression. Let's just hear it really quick. Now, if you remember, the key to this is there's a pattern to these chords. These are not, even though we're using a major key, these are not all major chords. There are some minor chords and some major chords, and then one funky chord, one weird chord. So remember, the pattern is major chord, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, that's the weird one, and then we're back to major again, built on tonic. So what that means is, without figuring out all these notes, all we really need is the scale. So we could go to the scale. And we can figure out our chords just using the pattern. Because we know that if we're in the key of C and we want to play an F chord, it has to be a major chord if we want it to stay within the key, right? Because of the pattern, major, minor, minor, major. So F is a major chord. That's the F chord that's in key, right? If we wanted to add an A chord in the key of C, it would have to be minor, because the pattern puts the sixth, which is here, on a minor chord. So we don't need to figure out all the notes of every chord. We just need to we just need to know what key we're in and the pattern of the diatonic chord progression. Now, it would sure be convenient if the pattern was the same in a minor key, because then we wouldn't have to learn a new pattern and we wouldn't have to memorize a new pattern, right? Wouldn't that be just great? It's not true. The pattern's totally different. Kinda. The pattern is different, but there are some tricks to remembering it. So you might not really have to memorize a whole new pattern. And the clue I'm going to give you on that is, for now, is remember the relative key issue. That can really help us out to remember this, because it works for the diatonic chord progressions too. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but first, let's just look at the pattern as it is. So let's go to a new video and we'll dive right into the pattern of a minor diatonic chord progression.